you'll build something that survives those rough weeks. I can promise you that. You know that feeling that you would just do absolute anything to avoid training? Yeah, I've pretty much lived that. Last year was pretty rough. My dog died, and then I fell out with my family. My granddad, who raised me, developed Alzheimer's, which was a pretty big blow. And I then developed tinnitus when I went to go and see one of my favorite artists in concert. And that kind of kept me awake for most, if not all, of the nights for about 12 months. I was getting about 3 hours of sleep a night, if I was lucky. And I was taking so many meds just for some kind of sleep. My head was really loud, my body was wrecked from the lack of sleep, and I kind of felt a bit like a fraud. I am supposed to be a coach, but I was struggling with the most basic principles. I didn't feel motivated at all, but I still showed up. Not perfectly, I wasn't hitting big numbers in the gym, I wasn't breaking PBs, I was just consistent. At first, that did take some time off. I was just completely done. But I knew that if I'd let the habit go, I'd lose more than just my strength. I'd lose a bit of the structure that keeps me sane, and from my mental health just dropping on through the floor. So what I did was I changed my rules. What I did was I implemented the minimum standards, which was for me 2 seconds a week, no heroics, no PBs, no big lifts, no nothing. I could do anything I wanted, I just had to do 2 sessions. That could be yoga, it could have been a light jog, it could have been 15 minutes of just lifting easy weights. It didn't matter how pretty the whole structure looked. The point was I just had to keep the structure alive. And I'll be honest, my movement dropped. My non-exercise activity went just down right through the floor. My energy was at an all-time low. I started to gain body fat, and it's not because I gave up, but it's because my sleep and my stress were wrecking everything. But still, I kept my promise to myself. The little things, the boring things, but I kept going. What I've learned is motivation is the feeling, but discipline is the decision. I suppose one way you could think about it is that it's like turning the key to a car. It gets the engine going and it comes to life, but if the car isn't looked after, if your tires are flat, if your alignment's off, you're not gonna really get that far. Some days you even forget to put screen wash in. You hit a bit of grim on the road and the windscreen's just a mess. Can you still drive? Aye. You'll go slower, but that's not failure. That's just a blip. You course correct and you carry on. It's the same with training. If your only plan is to go when I feel motivated, or I'll go when I feel motivated again, you'll only just keep restarting. How many times have you said to yourself, I'll start again on Monday after one day or one bad meal or one bad workout? But if your plan is, I'll show up, even small, you'll build something that survives those rough weeks. I can promise you that. Here's what's helped me and what's helped my clients when work is absolutely mental and when everything is just too loud and just crazy. Number one, I've already said it, make it small. If you planned to do 10K, do 5 minutes. Set a timer. 9 times out of 10, you'll keep going. If not, you still kept your promise to yourself. Number two, change the intensity, not the commitment. If you can't face heavy squats, fine, do light goblets, walk on a treadmill. All you need to do is show up, touch the habit, and then just leave. Number three is your minimum standards. 2 sessions a week is still training in a week. You're not chasing perfection. You're protecting your identity in the vision that you want to get to. Most of my clients say the same thing when they struggle. I wasn't perfect this week. Work didn't go well. Something unexpected came up. Of course it did. Life isn't just a calendar that sends you a Teams meeting to say this is what is going on. It just derails you out of nowhere. That's what it does. Perfection is not the goal here. Continuity is. The body follows the brain, and the brain follows habits. Every small action gets wired in. I'm a person who shows up, should be your motto. That's how I got through the worst part of my life. Not with big wins, with little ones. Not with hype, with honesty. So I mean, if you're watching this after a long day and you're tired and the last thing you want to do is train, do the smallest thing that you can. Just put on your shoes, go for a walk for 5 minutes, stretch, breathe, call it a win. You did something. That is all you need to do. Let the bare minimum be your change, because small and consistent will always outweigh big and occasional. You don't need motivation. You need a system that can help you when you don't have any. That's discipline. And that's how we move forward, one honest session at a time.